No, but see, you did innovation. I went the lazy way. I went marketing.
I wonder what theirs looks like. How many slides?
25 slides.
No, just 20.
20 slides.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Yesterday I went to Honey Corner places. I brought my tomato there and I was spinning it.
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna break out laughing and crying and just go like this.
Alright,
I think I want to do.
Alright, I'd like everybody to come over here. I want you to see what he's showing of you. So come here, this way. Uh-oh. Well, just a second. Give me just a second. This is what you have. Alright, give me a few minutes. Oh, well, we have extra time after. An hour and 20. I thought it was 2 hours. Or it's like a normal. Oh, wait, is it 2 hours? Oh, it's 2 hours, yes. But yeah, it's where what we'll do is I can show you something else. Yes, after we use time to study, talk about your presentations. I'm going to be so frustrated.
What are you going to film today? You have math today? Yeah, I have that tomorrow.
And like free.
He said, you know my rap for 2 weeks. I'm memorized it. I don't smoke 3 times.
What are you doing? Time is really easy. So I feel like
I just need the second time on it.
Yeah.
To like inputs.
Yeah, so just make sure that your presentation, whatever you present, is somehow in that shared folder.
No, I was joking.
oh,
I have
you're mean. You're a very cruel child.
That's not something I'm joking about.
Yeah, you like joke about that.
Not today.
Yeah.
Of all days. So you might want to get it set up and be prepared. Have one more moment to look through it before you present it. Okay. At some point. Okay. Awesome.
I literally studied until like 12.
Are we
I
ready?
fell asleep at like 3.
Alright, he's got it back up so you can take a look and see where you need to position yourself on camera. Where is that? Alright.
I love how there's like camera.
Look at where it is, what it's focusing in on. So, Sig, you're gonna, don't move. Stop right there. So, you're hopefully not gonna present right there. You're gonna come over a little bit more. There. Right about there is a good position as long as you're not covering up the screen. Is that, everybody get it?
If we have to like look a little bit.
Sure. What's that?
Jaden, come here.
What's your question?
Ashrat, stand right here so I can see on the screen.
Point something out.
Echo.
Point something out, yes. Like your focus.
And then you're just like,
Remove the
more pence. Every single time the hair goes like this.
You should, first group that's going to go, you should get your computer hooked up and ready. I don't want to go first ones on you. So I'm trying to remember.
Hey, you can't touch
Oh, I'm sorry.
Extra.
I think I'm going fifth.
You guys are first?
Hello.
Yes, they are.
Hi.
I'm
But
going
you do
second.
not need to speak into the mic. The mic will pick your voice up. So you're not having to lean over and actually.
No.
All right, so the order is first, Sig and James.
Hi.
Second, Efshad. Third, Daniela. Fourth, Alex, and fifth, Seth. Okay?
This is the thing you need to plug it into, right?
So, we can
Can't
leave
see.
peanuts in here.
Yes.
No, it's
Figure out which one this is.
Not be holding the computer, but it should be rested on a surface. As the less you move it around, the better. Yeah, maybe you should think about that.
like, I'm just gonna go like
Which is the disease?
Okay, so
You good?
I'll go in that mode. I'll go. So you can be set to go.
Wait, yeah, make for bonus.
No.
The microphone is right there. It's gonna stay there. You don't take it out. As far as I know,
I
right?
can't, we can't do
Right,
like,
so the microphone stays in the stand.
we can't like do like,
So I'll do the slide. The next slide. I'm so on.
Imagine this, they do a testing because it should pick up the
Test?
sound.
Of this?
Do you want to go a test run of the sound?
like tap the screen, go change it.
All right. For those in the audience, I want you in seats. I want you in a way that you are seated and you're attentive, that you're engaged in their presentation as much as possible. Okay? You might even take notes if you feel you need to in order to stay like in touch with what they're talking about. And that at the end of their talk, that there will be a minute for questions. Okay? Just want to remind you of the procedure. Okay? And all of this will be videoed, so please, it's not time to laugh and goof off. It's actually time to be pretty serious. I know it's hard. Jaden's having a hard time right now.
Jaden, calm yourself.
It's okay.
Just think of Cohen.
So something that's really good before you go is like sometimes you have to turn around, go like this, and then you come back. But if you're ready to present, we're just going to get you going. Are you recording or?
Camera's face towards you more than it is towards me.
Well, you're both in it,
Oh.
and you both need to be thinking about where you
Yeah,
are
your arm is.
What?
body-wise. So Sig is doing this. swim.
It's so much fun.
I know, but during presentation, you want to keep your body.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Any questions? Okay,
We can just tap the
recording.
screen and this will work,
You do
right?
not tap the screen. So this is
So we
where you
tap the
actually use
computer.
the-
Alrighty.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay. And.
what's our
just
time?
gonna do this.
What was that slide?
Feel on the later. Okay, are you ready? Okay. In the audience, whispering will be picked up, so just. Ready? Go ahead.
Alright, so the flashlight. It's our project.
Uses. Many people in poor and third world countries don't have power or light. This flashlight has a spinning wheel on the side that will generate energy. This flashlight is not only useful for poor people, but it can also be useful in a survival situation or just casual camping.
So the purpose. Our project is a flashlight that runs on a dial. You will have to spin the dial to create energy. There's going to be an on and off switch so that the energy can be conserved and provided when needed. Yeah. Switch the slide.
Just some like ideas for the flashlight. The first one is that it's a flashlight. Second one has like a spinner on the side that generates energy by spinning it. And then it stores energy in a battery. There's one bulb, an on and off switch, and it's like a rectangle kind of shape.
So some supplies that would be needed. A small box to contain all the wires and the light for the flashlight. A copper wire, a magnet, a small bulb, and the battery.
This is our first prototype. That's our second one. And that's our model. And that's it.
Amazing.
I was wondering, I think, doesn't this already exist and it has like a little crank on the side? Yeah, like I have crank it and
That's
then,
a
like, yeah,
crank.
like-
Ours is powered by a dial. Like you just, you know how a fidget spinner would work? Like you just spin a
yeah,
little
but
thing. That's
you
how.
just crank it.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
like one of
this
those
you could
old
just
phones
spin.
that you just spin in the
Sort of, but it's like a whole crank. Doesn't it already exist?
Okay. Now this is
How big would it be?
that's
Probably close that size, maybe a little smaller. Any more? Alrighty.
Okay, next up is a shrub.
You mess up.
Would you like me to help That's what I thought. But
I tried
I think she tried it this morning.
How long have you guys been in here?
Like everybody's
I got here at 7.
I gotta do it. You're like far.
not my own. It's that button over there next to your name.
I like that picture of the guy smoking.
Doesn't work. What are
Who's gonna click it?
Try running back.
Are you gonna have Daniela click it or?
What kind of thing? What?
I covered it up. Because you don't want to even fit that.
Okay.
Otherwise, your eyes.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Sure. It's always good to have backup. You don't want to cover the cover though. See it? So it's on video and recording? Okay.
I just tried that.
Okay.
Oh, hello. My name is Ashrat, and today we will be discussing the topic of smoking. As you may already know, the U.S. is home to 323.1 million people. 46,098,183 are currently smokers. This includes teenagers and adults. There are more than 19 types of cancers that are caused by smoking alone, a few targeting the bladder, stomach, lung, blood, colon, and many more. Some even target parts of the mouth. Smokers are at greater risk of developing cardiovascular disease, which targets the heart, increasing heart rate and the blood vessels, making them thin and grow narrow. Smoking also damages the alveoli found in your lungs. This could lead to lung disease and make asthma attacks present in non-asthma patients and more severe for those who do have asthma. Secondhand smoke is truly the most horrific concept I've heard of so far. Not only is cigarette smoke harmful to smokers themselves, but it's also harmful to the people around them. In fact, 890,000 of the 7 million deaths caused by tobacco this year were from non-smokers that were exposed to cigarette smoke. When first attempting to tackle the issue of smoking, I thought about how the cigarettes have a negative impact on our environment. Thinking about this, I searched up the concept of biodegradable cigarettes. After discovering a website called Green Butts and a company called Green Butts, I saw that they did already create biodegradable cigarettes, but they were not famous or promoted. After reaching out, I have not heard or received a response. If you or a loved one are currently smokers, there are ways for you to improve your health by quitting. A few of these benefits would be increase of energy, your health improving, and money being saved. Taste and smell will also be increased. Thank you. Are there any questions? No? Please raise your hand. Got it.
Let's go out with it's not my turn. It's yours. This is not the whole class period. We just send it to the rest of the students.
We're gonna go back over some of the presentations, and we're also going to have an opportunity for you, if you guys want to hear about the trip and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Then I also thought if you wanted some
Who
kind of
watched the
study
Grinch
for
like that? Okay, that's good too.
Can I watch-
changing your friends.
Can I watch the Grinch like them?
Yeah,
No, I was just looking at the class to see what they do so I could learn what I was doing in high school. And then you just float on push T, Mr. Hershey shoots me out like this.
okay. Well, really, you're supposed to be focused here.
Okay. He knows this.
Remember, you're on camera still?
Alex, come on.
This is recorded.
Is this for live on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. But after it's not, it'll still be up there. What's going on?
Yes. Just let me know when you're ready. And do you need somebody to explain your slides for you?
I can do this a lot of the time.
That's it.
Wait, I don't want you to be able to. You ready? Okay.
Hi, my name is Daniela Vargas. I go to the Adelson Educational Campus, and this is my portable shower project presentation. Oh, yeah, I know. I can see all the words on this slide because I typed them, okay? And you probably don't want me to turn around and read them right now, so I'm not going to. But I will tell you what they say. Do you take care of your hygiene? Do you like to feel clean? Do you like to be germ-free all the time? If you answered yes to all these questions, then you might care about the hygiene of others too. I sure do. Because not being properly cleaned can lead to some awful diseases like ringworm and body lice. So with my invention, we will solve those issues. All right. So when starting this project, I wanted to think of some kind of award-winning invention, but I knew that wasn't just gonna happen overnight. So I had to just take a step back and think, who was I helping first? And then I thought, oh, some people in third world countries. That's always a good place to start. So then I thought about their hygiene, and I'm saying their hygiene's probably not the greatest. So let me invent some kind of portable cleaning device. After I was inspired by my favorite childhood show, SpongeBob SquarePants, with their shower in a can, I wanted to make something that you could take on the go, or something that could be shipped to those countries to help them get clean. All right, so I started off by creating 4 different ideas, 4 different designs that I wanted to do. And I had drawn them all out, and each one had different things. You can come up here and look at them if you want. Yes, they're all up here. And each of these different designs has different things. So some of them have more water storage, others have heated water, wheels, more privacy, and so on. So this is over here is my first design that I drew. This one resembles a porta potty more. It's very compacted, so it's in one cube, right? And the most important thing is how the shower works. So especially in those third world countries where they don't have access to clean water, you pour your dirty water in here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little slot where you pour the dirty water in, and it goes on top of this biodegradable filter. And it filters out about 90% of everything that's in there and goes into this water tank down here. Then the water is taken from the water tank, goes up through the tube and out the shower head. So you can shower. And then all the excess water that you didn't use while showering will go back down the drain, through the filter and into the tank. That's how all of them work. They all work the same way, but they're all set up a little differently. So in design 2, you can see it's not very compacted whatsoever. It has stuff on the top and on the bottom and a ladder, and it's not really good for people who are handicapped. Not my personal favorite, just saying. But it does work the same way. My third design, this was actually my favorite one. And this one can be taken apart so you can have different sections. So you can have the parts that fold, the water tank, a water heater, the shower head, the shower curtain, etc. So all the different parts are there. And this one has less water storage. This one only has 15 gallons of water. The others have 20. And this one also has foldable walls. So like you said, you can easily fold it up and put it somewhere else. Yeah. And design 4, you have, this one's very similar to design 1, but the only difference is this one has heated water. So as you can see, there's a water heater right next to there. So the water will go up the tank, through the heater, and out the shower head. So now that I have my designs, what am I doing with that? I don't know. So I created a survey and sent it to friends, family, classmates to see what they thought of my designs. And the most popular ones are, of course, 3 and 4, my favorites. So I thought I need to do something with these, and that's what I based my final design off of. This is my final design. It looks very similar to 3 because it has a lot of components of 3. I like the components where you can fold it up and transport it, but this has, now it has 20 gallons, wheels, and a solar-powered water heater. So all the best parts of all of them into one was my final design. Prototyping, my favorite part. I love hands-on stuff. So I had made 2 prototypes. One of them I never really finished because I could tell it was falling apart and just wasn't gonna work. So I decided to move on to the second one. As you can see, this is my first design. Oh, I know, yeah, it's bad. You see all the tape is coming off, and it doesn't work. But I don't know if you can see what I was trying to do, but these would have been the foldable walls over here. But since it was falling apart, I couldn't get anything to stick. Wasn't finished. And this is my second prototype. This one I made out of popsicle sticks and hot glue, so I could, of course, put a lot more detail, and it could stand upright. I could even add some of the components where it folded, but I glued them together just so it would be more presentable. And every part is labeled on here, and all the different sections that come apart that you can transport separately are colored. So, what's next? I would have hoped after doing this project I could have pitched my idea to someone who could really make it happen, so I could actually help those people in those third world countries that really need it. And yeah, that's my goal. So these are my sources, and thank you for watching. Questions? Yes.
Do you have the second prototype here because the lighting was
I do.
You can see in person.
I do have it, I think. Any other questions? No? Pretty straightforward? Okay.
Right. Did everybody get to look at her designs?
You can look at them, they're up here, and finish too if you couldn't see up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yay, let's go.
So next up we will have Alex, and here is the.
Those are the two.
Can you be my slide reader? Is that going to be blocking the view over here?
He can go behind like I was.
Yeah, so why don't you come over here? Let's see. But can you just hold it? Actually, just put it on the key. Okay. This. Okay. Yes, should I start? Okay. Hi, I'm Alex Cremoni, and this is CCS, better known as Clark County Solutions. This is Phil. He is your everyday commuter. He is a sensible driver, has a 9-to-5 job, and works 40 hours a week. Phil tries to take the freeway because he's heard it is faster than the streets and doesn't want to be in long red lights and wants to get better fuel economy. But then later, Phil is rewarded with heavy bumper-to-bumper traffic with multiple lane changes of whenever a car finds an open lane. He's wondering if it's just a lane, but it's not just if it's just an accident. It's not just an accident. And he finally finds out after passing by the traffic and sees it's just a construction. And he wonders, oh, how long is it gonna take? The construction ends up taking much longer than it would have taken with private sector construction. Instead of, but the government ends up taking much longer, and what the excuse me, the new improvements from the construction don't have that strong of an impact. Okay, just to clear this, and that is where then we CCS come in. Just to clear it up, we are a marketing campaign. These are not my inventions. I'm not taking credit for these. We're not innovators. So the problem is people are getting late to work because of traffic. Traffic causes the most pollution because it has been proven that when most conventional gas engines at idle and lower speeds, aren't as efficient as when they are at their highway speeds of about 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. Time is wasted that you could have been doing other useful things. And tension and anger and road rage is built up from all the traffic piece. People get very impatient. The causes of traffic, there are too many cars, so it's like this funnel effect. Like, it's what I like to call Three Stooges syndrome. Imagine trying to put 3 people through a doorway. They'll get stuck and they can't fit through. So the obstacles include double parking, road work, lane closure for like construction, like I mentioned earlier, the road narrowing down, an accident where everybody slows down for caution and some people want to see how severe it is. Trust me, I know. Traffic signals out of sync because the computer for the lights are messed up. Inadequate green light times. Too many pedestrians crossing. So like if you wanted to make a right turn at a red light and you're in the right lane. And also too many trucks on the 18-wheelers on the road because what's it called? Excuse me. There aren't enough carts on the road, the railroad tracks, and there aren't enough railroad tracks. So the giant 18-wheelers have to be driving around, and they're big, and they have to go slower, and they have to be cautious, and it takes up more time and space. Okay, how are we gonna fix these? So I thought of basic solutions that I already know, and they seem like they would work. So the extra lane, the toll booth freeway, and the 1 car per green light on the freeway ramp entrance. So with the extra lane, the pros you would get is that it's not like, some people when I introduced this idea, they thought it was you are paving a whole other lane. I remember years ago they were paving one at the 215. It took forever and the traffic was horrendous. It's not paving a whole other lane. I spoke with the engineers. The shoulders here on the 215 are extra wide. And I asked them, is it the same compound as the road? They said yes. And the width, I got the measurements. And you can split that into a normal size shoulder in another lane. It takes about a week because it's just painting and putting up a sign. You still get to keep the shoulder and it improves traffic flow. And there are no cons for this one. So if you could see over, can you go back? So if you could see over here, this is your standard size shoulder. And then over here, this is the extra wide one. Even in the distance, you can still see how big it is in the width. Okay, with the toll booth, the pros with it. It creates jobs, raises money for the city that they could use other places because this is an older style one, but you could put up ads for like, I don't know, the new movie that's coming out, a new food at a fast food restaurant. The cons, it can create what's called a traffic snake, where the reaction times of the drivers aren't as quick, and they end up like stopping. It's kind of like a slinky. And cars can back up because one of them is looking for that 1/4 to pay, or one of the drivers doesn't have their money with them, or the person working in the toll booth is just kind of slow that day. And then the 1 car per green light, these already exist. They have them already in Los Angeles towards like Santa Monica by the 405. These work great actually, even though the traffic there is 10 times worse than here and it's working well there. So it controls the amount that goes onto the freeway. There's no, like I said, Three Stooges with the funnel. situation where the cars are too many cars at once, but the problems with it can create a traffic snake, and it can overflow into the street that exits into the freeway. Okay, about the CEO, me myself, jack of all trades. Actually, I'm not much of a CEO. I was the only person who worked on this project. I'm almost a 13-year-old. I live in other side of town, Henderson, Nevada, and every day I don't commute. I actually take the bus, or I will be driven to. I go to school, and on a good day, if I'm lucky with no traffic, it'll take about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But with the traffic, what I've noticed, like years ago when I first started going here, they were trying to build that add that extra lane. It took forever, and recently they were adding that little bridge for the ramp that would go from the airport to what's it called, over Warm Springs to the 215. That also took a very long time, and I would get demerits for being late. If I was employed, if I was an employee working for a business, I would have been fired by then. So I can imagine all the other commuters who would have had problems with the traffic. Any questions? And another thing to bring up, the private sector, with the private sector construction, it would have taken much, much less, but with the government, for some reason, it takes, it has to do with their funding. It just takes a while. So.
Were you able to get feedback from other people who commute in regards to?
Yes, I actually did a survey with commuters, and they told me that, well, some of them, they live so close to school, to their workplace that, excuse me, that they take side streets. But with the longer commuters, they told me that a commute that without traffic, it would take about 25, 30 minutes. It took them 45 minutes. And I was very, and then they told me why it took them such a long time. Any other questions? No? Okay.
Okay.
Seth, your turn.
Seth is
You want me to change your slides? No? Can I?
Marcus, do I have to be here, or can I be here like Jason?
You can be there and maybe do your slides.
I think I'll
So I want to.
Oh, what happened?
Are you ready?
So I just have to look at the camera, or do I look at the
Look at
audience?
the camera and at the audience.
Oh, I looked mostly at the
But, right. So the idea is when you're on camera, you think.
There's two audiences.
That's right. Well, and usually when you have a presentation in the hall, you should be looking in various places.
Okay.
I normally put something like up above everybody on the left and the right. And just kind of pop both in the middle.
Okay.
Right, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm trying to get it so Alex isn't in my picture. All right, we're good. And go.
My technology project. My original idea was to have an eco-friendly 3D printer powered by the sun. This could help people in various areas such as undeveloped countries. Places like the US and Europe and parts of Asia are advancing in technology, while places like the Middle East and parts of Africa are behind in their technology. Next slide. 3D printers and solar panels. 3D printers use a range of different amounts of electricity. During the beginning, it uses a lot of power and gradually goes till the end of the print. For the first 30 minutes, the maximum amount is 170 watts. Solar panels have been increasing throughout the years. They have been getting smaller and making more electricity for houses, and they are more efficient. Next slide. What size does a 3D printer have to be? In our first picture, we have the power usage of a 3D printer. And now in this first picture, it's the proportion between a solar panel and a man and a woman and a dog. It shows how big it is, not too big. And in the second picture, it shows another solar panel the same size and how it equals how many square feet and how many watts are in a square foot. 15 watts. With this calculation and doing all the math based on this picture, I found out what size did I need it to be. The end result was 48 inches by 36 inches. What is needed to have an edible 3D printer? In order to have an edible 3D printer, you can have a basic regular 3D printer like these, but you need to have a suitable extruder mechanism and a hot end capable of releasing thicker materials such as Nutella or pancake batter. There are other companies that make such 3D printers, which is very nice, but many people don't like the idea of having food right next to plastic inside, so many people think it's not food safe. What cable and wires do I need to connect the solar panel to a 3D printer? It was a very complex challenge trying to find on different websites. Multiple websites were very helpful, but some of them just disappeared out of nowhere. But if you click here, it takes you to what I got. I will, in my next slides, I will show how I compromised. Have other people try to do this? Yes, on a website called EcoWatch, they have been taking 3D printers to undeveloped countries. They have been using them for medical supplies and other medical needs of the people. In Haiti, they gave many of them out, and it was after a big earthquake. So, 3D printers can print over 100 of these things in one day, and they want solar-powered 3D printers, except they don't have the technology yet, or they don't know how to do it, even though they say it will be a great help. People can make an endless amount of things with 3D printers, and some foundations, such as the EcoWatch, have sent their people out to these undeveloped countries to teach them how to use the 3D printers. Hopefully in the future, all undeveloped countries will be modernized and have all the technology that we have in the US or in other various parts. Pictures from EcoWatch and more. Here we have a picture from the EcoWatch of people in undeveloped countries using a 3D printer. The difference between my project and theirs. They have only used 3D printers for medical supplies, not for other various uses like food. And they want it to be solar powered, but they haven't yet got that technology. New idea. So it was the same idea, eco-friendly 3D printer, but it was too hard to find what cables and wires I needed to connect a 3D printer to a solar panel. But I know that a solar panel can charge a battery, but there is very low information of a battery charging a 3D printer, even though it is possible. A battery-powered 3D printer. This video shows a 3D printer just on backup batteries, and how it printed a boat and how it is possible. It's not a video, it's a picture. Parts of a 3D printer. In order to understand how a 3D printer works, you need to know the parts. So I have all of the parts of the 3D printer there. For the sake of time, I can't show them all because there's over 14 different dots. Oh, sorry. Newest idea. So Mr. Wild helped me in finding that I needed an inverter in order for the battery energy to flow through the 3D printer. Here we have the 3D printer, the inverter, and some cables and battery. Costs. So now that we know how it's done, all we need is to find the costs. So I'm trying to find the bare minimum of what I could have done and how the school could have helped me with the items. We already have a 3D printer in the school, so that is erased $915. We already know that a solar panel can charge a battery, so we can erase $500. And for two $270 batteries, we can use used car batteries. And the school already has the filament, so we can erase that cost. So all I would need to buy is the inverter and a used battery. It does cost a lot of money and time, so I'm just making a model of it. Extra costs. So if this became an actual thing, I would like to make it where there are commercials and people can donate $5 a month and get a certificate and a picture of the town they're helping. And I know that there are websites that give like $100 to new nonprofit foundations. I would welcome volunteers. I would have to use the money, not that is used for certainly the people in undeveloped countries, but people who want to donate specifically to us or help us with needs. I would try to make connections with suppliers and tell them that it is for charity and that maybe if they want to lower the price or just see how they're helping people. For different towns, we would need filament replacements. So it would cost like $25 to $65 just to ship it out every month. I would visit there myself or send qualified people there to learn and listen to what needs they need or what they want. I will make TV and radio commercials and marketing and advertising costs, and if succeed, I would carry on until maybe a problem occurs, but I would like this to actually be a thing. What's going on? My model. So here we have a 3D printer, an inverter, a battery, and a solar panel. My logos. So this was originally hand with a cut, and then this one is my favorite modern day technology for modern day problems. Here are my links. The end. In conclusion, I would love for solar 3D printers to be in every part of the world. It is important that people in undeveloped countries learn how to use this technology. This technology will take us and be used for many generations. I would like to make this a reality and change the world, both for people in rural and urban areas all over the world. Thanks.
Any questions?
No.
Yes, Mr.
How do you know that the batteries in the solar panel are big enough for the power supply for the printer? How do you know you're going to supply enough power to the printer to make it print?
I found how many watts and how much I would need for each square foot and how big the solar panel has to be. But for the other question, what was the rest of your question?
That was it. How many watts?
Okay.
Figure out how many watts the 3D printer needed?
Yes. It needed 160 amp.6, which is approximately 170 watts for 30 minutes. So I could just use a 300-watt solar panel that were there. I would just have to wait like 2 days or 3 days to use it because a normal print takes like an hour or two.
Question?
Yeah.
Why would I print over just growing food?
Growing food can spoil due to the weather, and 3D printers are sustainable and they can work solar
But is
power
it
throughout
just
the
like
night.
stuff? Is it just like sweets and not like? Is it just like? Is it food? Like, or is it just sweets like
no.
pancakes? And
It is
chocolate?
actually food because there's actually a restaurant in Italy where it is just a restaurant with just 3D printer food, and they melt up the carrots and they have different actual nutritious food that can come out. And then
Okay, I thought it was
mix
just
together.
like pancakes.
No, it's not food. Any other questions from the audience? And all you other people, write your questions down in the comments. I don't know if it's on. Thank you. My last one.
So I'd like everybody to go change. It's okay. Go change. Come back and we'll
Before
kind
you
of debrief.
For the guys especially, I want to point out, you're at the age now where if they tell you to dress nicely, they expect you to probably at least have a suit or a jacket, probably a tie, and at the very, very minimum, a shirt, you gotta have a belt. Yeah, the biggest thing is the belt. When you're like a 6th grader, nobody cares. When you get 7th, 8th, high school, belt. Exactly.
I didn't bring any extra clothes.
Why did they ask for dress nicely? Both the ladies, some of the guys have the belt.
It is pretty just there though.
Yes, it is. Did you bring the clothes to change into?
No.
Oh, okay.
But you can't take off your jacket and tie it.
Yes. He's got it off to the side of the face So I got the next you guys with debrief. That'll be what's up next, and then I'll give you time to set up. I actually thought I should have a survey ready for them at the end of class, but I'll be at that. They can do by the end of the week. Right? So I write some questions and you guys write responses. At the end of the week, can you handle that? While your finals are going?
I'm honestly so good. Last night, no, yesterday, and on Saturday and yesterday, we were the whole day because he doesn't have a truck for all the things.
Oh, right.
So we're organizing everything because these people keep like paying up all the pictures.
Right.
They're like,
Right. Decorate your house on a chance.
more at the end, we're like, we went back and forth from Home Depot and Lowe's and a million other like stores to get these 2 screws. And every single time we went, they were the wrong one, even though they gave us the one to compare it to. Honestly, a nightmare.
I keep looking up what the for like what's it called the shelf thing, but it doesn't have a list of them. I can't find the rest. Yeah.
The list.
Yeah. Said there's Ethan, Samson, Deborah. I don't know the fourth one.
I'm not functioning.
Was this something that wasn't presented in class?
It was, but I
Oh, that's adorable. Did you do a Google search? Yeah. Yeah. Where are you finding that thing? How are you spelling
SHOFTIN. Giddy, that's the full board. Okay.
Today I'm just going to have you guys debrief about your presentations, what you learned from each other.
Oh my god, this is so cute. Look, oh my god, it's a little hedgehog pool.
Yours is cool.
Yeah, that's
Smelling something really aromatic. It's just
They're cooking something. Yeah, I saw a whole bunch of flavors and stuff. That's not.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
To you.
Do you have close to I know. I know. Okay. That's true. So I'm going to have us all gather around.
He's the one with the leader who beat the one people and the people he was facing had the vision or their temple or others.
Why do you think you did?
What gives you that?
It was the one that with the dogs, right? Like how he would,
Oh my
if
god,
they drank the
you're
water,
right, I
it
didn't fix
would
it.
be part of the meat, but if they didn't drink it like a dog, they
And I
would.
noticed as I glanced.
But I did notice the cancer. That's all I noticed. So, well, really two others. My ours is make sure that feel we're all here. Part of today is also
that
learning
camera
about
still-
presenting. It's learning about what it takes to present. What were some things that you would do differently in your next presentation? What are some things that you thought about as you watched each other's slides that might have taught you something different or gave you some insight into this? Okay.
I'm asleep.
You finished?
No,
Big screen.
we only went halfway.
That's a good idea.
Well,
But I'm gonna start
it may have been